What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday. This is the place where we're reviewing currently Yellowstone, the series. I'm going season by season, and this is week 3 of it. So season 3. I have some thoughts. I didn't like the season as much as I thought I was going to, but we're here to talk about all of it, what we liked, what we didn't like, with my good friends, Tom from Midnight's Edge. How's it going, Tom?
I'm eating pizza.
Yay!
That is a huge slice. I'm so envious.
The New York Pizza Hut thing. I know it's not good for me at all.
Oh, you mean the big New Yorker? They brought that back?
Yeah, they did.
God, that
Unfortunately,
looks so freaking
it's the
good.
worst thing that could ever happen to me.
I feel like, dude, I feel like I just got fat looking at you eat it. Like I was like, oh, that's a lot of carbs.
I think I just gained like 5 pounds.
I love it. Okay, well, Tom's here. He's from Midnight's Edge. Links are in the description. Make sure you're subscribed. And then we have my awesome Canadian friend, Script Doctor. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, I'm really wishing I had a big New Yorker pizza right now.
I know, me too, dude. I was like,
come get it, Script. You're more than welcome.
Hey, Teresa. Teresa's in the chat. What's going on, Teresa? Oh my God, Script Doctor, are you hanging in there? Are you frozen? Are you an icicle?
Not quite. Luckily, we got some warmer weather. 5 degrees.
Oh, thank God! Wow.
So it's slightly above water freezing.
It's so freaking hot here right now, and it's about to get like a lot hotter because we have another female content creator here. It's Jane. It's Jane Theory. What's going on, Jane? Hi, Jane. I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so happy I made it.
Oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. Okay, first things first. Totally changing the show for a second. Okay, this is 100% off topic. I'm probably going to clip this and put this on somewhere at some point.
Okay.
But Jane, I was kind of upset today. I was kind of upset because somebody apparently who doesn't like a lot of people in our corner of the internet decided to make some sort of video about how toxic we are and all this bullshit, the usual suspects, like, you got the quartering and, Gary and Az and Jeremy and of course that Star Wars girl. I mean, God, I love her to death, but I know that she's super toxic because she's like OG toxic, But I feel like Jane, like they didn't include you, they didn't include me, Melanie Mack, Chrissy Mayer, they didn't include any females, and I just feel like I need to get your thoughts on why we were not included in this. Like I feel underrepresented.
Yeah. There's just not enough.
I know, right? It's like look at all these people. You had the nose in here. The nose really talks about entertainment.
Yeah, how did he end up in there?
I don't know.
I was in a Fox News article.
I know, dude. You are. And people think you're a white male.
Exactly.
I feel like you should have been there, Jane. You, Melanie Mack. This is sexism.
So unfair.
Fuck, man. Okay, that's it. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Jeff says I'm too positive. That's true. I mean, I do have a really good news show. So there we go. That's why. This is all why. But what about Jane? Jane doesn't have a positive show. I think
maybe the Avatar. I don't know.
Positive.
What'd you say, Script?
Jane's Just Topics show on Saturdays is usually pretty positive.
Oh,
at least it brings a smile to my face.
That's why. It's too early for me. I can't unless I'm like up from the night before. I
would like a show called Just Toppings. I mean,
when you show off toppings on your pizza, that sounds pretty cool. Actually,
that's actually pretty good.
That's a good show.
No pineapple.
There we go. I just wanted to address the sexism in content creation.
Did they post that on Twitter?
Yeah, I tagged you, girl. I was like,
okay.
Yeah, I was like, where's Jane? Where is Jane?
I'm like the most sexist, racist of us all, and I didn't make the list.
You did not make. I'm so upset. None of the toxic femme girls made it. I mean, see, this is the tweet I said. I didn't make the cut. Got to step up my toxicity. That Star Wars girl isn't the only toxic female anymore. What about Jane and Melanie Mack? You need more female
Right.
representation. So that's it. I wanted to get your thoughts on that, Jane, on all the
Yeah.
sexism. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to another sexist show. No, I'm sure. This is not a sexist show. This is a very good show. But I have problems with season 3, meaning, okay, it's not that I don't. Okay, how do I say this? I didn't hate the season. It's just like I felt like I was bored half the time. Like I was waiting for something to happen. First of all, the revelation for what the hell happened between Jamie and Beth didn't come to like episode 5. So I was sitting there like being like, okay, why? Like, what's going on? Like, why am I still sitting here waiting for this revelation? And then once it happened, I was like, oh, okay. And then it just kept going and going, and it just kept building up to something. And I was like, okay, something's gonna happen, right? Like I was waiting kind of like for episode 7, because that's the last time in season 2, episode 7, like really fucking like they hit the shit hit the fan in episode 7. So I was like, okay, episode 7, maybe. And then episode 7 was super boring. And then episode 10 is where everything just went crazy. And then, of course, it left on a massive cliffhanger, which I was not very happy about. So that was kind of like my take about season 3. Also, of course, the revelations were interesting. But okay, so let's start with the fact that there were several characters added. So we had Josh Holloway, who is the gentleman from Lost, and he plays Rourke, the fishing guy, fly fisher. And I think he was introduced in like episode 1. But basically, the lowdown of the season was that a bunch of people wanted to make an airport on the Dutton land, and they were basically wanting to buy out the land and take it over. And of course, the Duttons don't want to sell, and that's the gist of the season, right, guys? Like, is there something else that I'm missing?
Well, let's see. When we last talked with Beth, she was buying up land with her company to make it a preserve so that nobody could ever get it in the future, and they'd be making money off of that. And then this guy, he's doing the airport because I think the airport is supposed to be the foundation for a brand new like gated community that they want to set up later on. Yeah. And yeah, that's basically what it is. His introduction was kind of funny, where she like gets out of her car and says, "Hey, you're in my lake, you're in my river." He's like, "Well, and my land is just up there."
Yeah, that was funny. I liked his introduction, and I actually really like the actor, because he's like, I was a huge fan of him in Lost.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, it's him, because it's been a while since I've seen him in anything after Lost. But I had a huge crush on him in Lost. Jane, did you
I did like him in that, but he's also, I don't know if you've heard of the show Colony.
Yes, I have, but I didn't watch it because I heard it got canceled.
Oh gosh, Nina, it's so good.
But didn't it get canceled and it has no ending?
It does not have an ending.
See?
But it's so good.
I know, I heard it was really good, but I was like, I'm not watching this if it doesn't have an ending. But yeah, so here's the scene of
Oh yeah, I like his character in this though. Yeah.
Yeah, it was he was a good character. I liked him too. I thought it was an interesting character. I liked what happened with him, but it was really funny how Beth started fucking with him, and then he was just like just going crazy with her, like, because she was doing stuff with the stock market so that their stock dropped. I don't know exactly what she was doing, but she was doing something. Like,
they were buying it to short it. And then what ended up happening is that the company that Beth was working for, their stock was also being shorted at the same time. So it was basically who could short who the fastest, so that one person could win over another.
Right. That's what was happening.
It really is a bunch of like economical jumble. Like I couldn't quite follow it either.
Yeah, unless you're like in the stock market, it was like, oh, okay, like sure. That's kind of what I was like. I was like, all right, whatever. because I'm not into the stock thing. I think maybe like what's his name? Valiant Renegade might do really good with that. He's just
But
like, oh, great.
it gave you a sense that she was in her element, with this.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought initially he was going to be a good, not only rival, but that they would respect each other so much that they would actually become a couple going forward.
Dude, I thought so too, Jane. I was like, oh, are they introducing like a third wheel kind of thing to the love triangle between her and Rip, or I almost call him Trip, Rip or whatever. But like I was kind of hoping that would happen, but that didn't happen. And I was like, well, that's kind of a missed opportunity there, because they could have juiced it up. Like they could have juiced the season up with that.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. I wanted more drama. I think that's what was missing. Is I was like, where's the drama?
Well, it came in buying and selling stocks. That's the drama.
Yeah. Like that one scene where he was like, oh, I forget what episode it was. Or I was like, pull up the episode. But when he was like getting destroyed in the stock market and he's like trying to warn everybody or whatever. And then like they call him as he's just about to leave the house to go fishing again, and he's like, I just want to fucking go fishing, and he's like so pissed,
and he doesn't catch anything. He throws it all back, so he's torturing the fish.
Yeah, that was a funny conversation that Beth had with him about that too, because she was like, what are you doing? Like, fishing is fucking stupid the way you're doing it anyway. She's like, at least I could respect you if you ate it.
Well, that's the thing I had said before too about their family seemingly being more preservationist. That's the one thing they all do seem to have, is a respect for the animals that they care for. They're on their land.
Yeah, and you guys were right about what's her face, like the wife, Kayce's wife. She kind of like
Monica.
Yeah, she started to kind of fade into the background this season. Like I was like, okay, well, she did have that big episode where she was like helping bust the rapist dude that was like kidnapping Native girls and like raping them.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're assuming he was raping them.
She drew first blood.
Yeah.
Well, what's great about this is they're finally getting past her bullshit. You're finally getting her to see, where John's coming from, where her husband's coming from with this last incident. So, like, you're right. Like, we finally have gotten past the point of her being annoying side character.
Yes.
Constantly bitching about something.
And actually, that was one of the most exciting parts of this season, was like that whole bust that she was doing. Because at first I didn't like clue into what she was doing, because I was like, oh no, like she's gonna get raped now, because she like her car broke down. And I was like, oh no, like what the fuck? Like this is not gonna end up well. And then it didn't end up well. But I was like, oh no, I was like what's gonna happen to her? And then it ended up being a sting. So I was like, okay, that's good that they got that fucker. But it was also
got him good in a shot too, right between the eyes.
And I love how that guy was like, I wasn't gonna let you down, like the native dude.
Yeah.
But like it was also interesting that Taylor Sheridan was coming back to this issue again, because this was something that was kind of explored. I think it was in season 1 when Kayce first found those 2 rapists in the van, and then he took them out. And then he came to the native people, and then the native people found the bodies, and then they were like, what'd you do to this? And then he was like, well, I kind of...
From the crystal meth explosion?
No. From when he was with his son, and they were driving home, and then they found the van in the middle of nowhere, and then he went to see. Yeah. So
it was times where Kayce just finds trouble on the road.
yeah, but I thought it was interesting that he was kind of like talking about this issue of Native women getting kidnapped and this happening to them, because it is a serious issue. And I think that it's just it was interesting that he kind of came back to it again. And it was interesting to have Monica be this kind of like, because she had a discussion with I think it was Kayce after it happened, and he was like, well, you can't get them all, and she was like, well, I can try, kind of thing. Like he was like, because you can't solve all of the world's problem, and she was like, I can try. so I think it's interesting that like her character's kind of developing in that sense of like, well, I'm not going to just sit by and just let this keep going on. I'm going to do something about it. And she did. And what she did was freaking hardcore. So that was good. That was a good thing for her character. And then we had all other characters get introduced in the season. One of them was the well, there was quite a few. We had obviously Josh Holloway that we talked about plays York. We had Willa Hayes, which is the CEO of Market Equities, that's played by Karen Pittman. She was kind of a, you know, the strong female character that entered the scene and then got screwed over by Beth, and she got fired by the end. And she was like, "Oh, I like her. I want to hire her." So there was that, and then there was Jimmy's new girlfriend Mia, that's played by Eden Brolin, and the other native girl that's played by her name is Angela Bluewater, played by, I cannot say her name. I think it's Korinaka Klitcher is the actress that plays her. And then there's Jennifer Landon that plays Teeter, the new Wrangler girl.
Teeter, yeah.
Yeah.
No one knows if she's speaking English.
Yeah, she was kind of an insane character. Like, I didn't know what to expect with this, but I thought it was funny the way that they hired her, because they were like, we need a new Wrangler. And then, you know, John Dutton's like, we need someone that's like, there's no drama. Like, we need someone that there's no sexual attraction. Like, you can't, because they had the old stripper like that left. So they were like, okay, we need like a new character. And then at first when they hired her, I was like, what the is that? And then like,
this is one of the things that goes out the window right away. Like, there's a couple of things in the show where this is one of them, where like the whole kick the girls out of the bunkhouse thing. It's almost like in between episodes, somebody chewed somebody out, and like, you can't do that. Because like the next episode, they're all of a sudden ignoring that. And then they get to the point where they end up having the one chick fight for her job back and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah.
Well, in this season, they like Teeter ends up like kind of teasing the black Wrangler dude. I forget what his name is, but she's like kind of like having a back and forth with him like the whole time. And then like finally he kind of like gives in to her when she's like, let's go skinny dipping. And then he's like, okay. So then they go skinny dipping, and then they're attacked by that other dude that owns the land, but he's being told what to do by by Rourke. Like, they hired him to basically kind of like give the Duttons problems. And then so they go and they kind of like stomp around the lake with their horses and like try to kill these guys. But I guess they were just trying to scare them, though. I don't know if they were actually trying to kill them, because if you're trying to kill them, wouldn't you
finish the job?
Yeah, like it was weird. Like, I was like, are you trying to kill them, or are you trying to warn them? I didn't understand. But then they got that guy got hanged. I was gonna say hung again, but I had to rethink. But yeah, that guy got hanged. The fat white dude, I forget his name. That was interesting. What else happened? Okay, let's talk about the big reveal. So episode 5, we finally figure out why freaking Beth hates Jamie.
Yeah.
Why, oh why does she hate him so much? And we find out that Beth, when she was like, what, 15, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
She got preggers with Rip's baby. And she went and asked, of all the brothers, fucking Jamie to drive her to a clinic to get it taken care of. And so he's like, all right. So he drives her there. And then when he goes in there, the lady that's working there tells him that, this is a kind of like a place for reservation for natives to come and get the babies taken care of. And this is not where you want to be because you're white. Go to this other clinic. It's better that way. You need to like go here instead. And like the Jamie in that conversation was like, anywhere we go, they're gonna know who it is, because of our name. And he gave her the license, so she knew it was Dutton. Like, she knew it was the Duttons. And then she was like, well, but you should know that this is not just an abortion. This is a place where we
sterilize.
Thank you. That was the word. And that's the lady. We're gonna,
and although that may be accurate, I'm very curious how they could actually do it without telling Beth.
That's the thing. That's the thing that stood out for me too. It's like for all of these reasons that y'all just mentioned, they absolutely would have told her. Like, there's just no way. They might have let her do it there, but they would have told her, and she would have had to sign some paperwork or something.
That she was informed of this, or like, I mean, I don't know if they're like, I mean, I don't know how much of a small town this is, but like, I guess maybe because they didn't want to admit it, because then that admission would be,
that's a good point.
I mean,
lawsuits, because then they're trying to do that to Native people, right? So they don't want to be like, hey, we're trying to.
I mean, yes, there's a gray area here, and obviously she's not an adult, so they need an adult to sign off or whatever. But at the same time, like, I can't believe that the native doctor wouldn't even had raised any red flags whatsoever, right?
I mean, I'm thinking of the situation is more like she goes into the office and the doctor says, so you've been told everything of what's going to happen, and she goes, yes. He's like, okay, good enough, there we go.
Exactly. Yeah. See, because like if you would have had this, because that's kind of the way it's set up to a point, but I try to remember if there's that scene that's, I don't think there's the scene that script's talking about, because otherwise, yeah, you have the part where Jamie's talking to her and he, leaves that bit of information out.
And I'm wondering, like, if the doctor's saying, you know what we're going to do? And she's like, yes, you're aware of everything that's going to happen? Yes. And if the doctor doesn't mention, the hysterectomy part, I mean, you could... There's room for plausibility to do it, but it also feels like, that's also very irresponsible of the physician.
Not only that, wouldn't a hysterectomy require a much more intense operation than just...
Did they
she doesn't know what it means.
Did they say it was going to be a hysterectomy, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that I believe they use that word.
Beth uses that word at the dinner table. Yeah.
Yeah, and
oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead, Jane.
No, I was just gonna say, you brought up a good point too about. See, that's the thing. Like, they wouldn't tell him if they thought that telling them both would reveal what they were doing, which is probably illegal.
Yes.
So. Yeah, I'm back to square one. Like, they would have told her. This doesn't make any sense.
That's what there's several things that makes me think they would have told her. One, Tom, you mentioned the fact that they needed someone to sign for it because she's a minor. And I didn't even think about that. And that's true too, because she didn't have, like, Jamie wasn't that much older.
And Taylor could have got out of this. Yeah, he's like 16, 17, 18 or whatever it's supposed to be. Yeah. But like, point being is they could have got out of this. What they should have done is had it been a situation where Jamie got her a shady doctor to do it and the doctor botched it, right? Maybe, but even then it's kind of, you're still like, well, why are you blaming him when you decided to do this in the first place?
Or Jamie like literally like fucking kicked her in the stomach or pushed her down the stairs or something. Like, I could see that if he's like, he's the one that does it, because it's like, it's not that she, like, this situation that they set up, it seems too contrived for that much hate to be placed on Jamie, because, okay, Jamie was dumb and he didn't tell her, but it's like, really, like, that's what your problem is. And you're going to blame this dude because you're not going to take any responsibility at all for even wanting to have an abortion to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, and then not asking the doctor what the procedure is going to be, not asking, like, like, even if the doctor is like, okay, so your brother told you everything we're gonna do, and she goes, yeah, and he's like, shouldn't the doctor be like, so you're aware that you're getting a hysterectomy? And like, they'd be like, what? Like, what am I getting?
You should. That should be the practice. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it just seems too, like, I don't think that this is what would happen. It just doesn't seem organic enough for that to happen. And it's just like, everything that's led up to this moment felt like it wouldn't be like that. I don't know. I don't know.
It does feel like a little contrived, and I think it came as a result of the fact that I would not be surprised if everyone in the writers' room had no idea why Beth hated Jamie for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah. Well,
like,
and
we got to answer this somehow. Well, what can we do? Because she really hates him.
yeah. And Matt G, thank you for the $1.
Yes, and sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like, Awesome Wolverine saying, take a responsibility requires maturity. And this, like, while this is true, I'm not denying that, but for her to like hate him as much as she does for her entire adult life, because at some point you come to an understanding where you're like, okay, like, because she does gain maturity, right? Like, she is aging, she is growing up, like she has faced different things. Like, she's faced freaking death like how many times, because she's a Dutton. There's a certain level of maturity that comes with that. So you would think that at some point in her adult life, she would have talked to him, you know, she would have faced this issue, and then they would have talked it out or whatever. And then she would have been like, well, I should take some responsibility. But if that's not the case, and she's just projecting this like hate onto him, that kind of makes you not want to hate Jamie as much. Like, as a viewer, you're like, okay, well.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, because I think she did allude to not being able to have kids prior to this, right? I'm not 100%.
No.
I think so, but I'm
No.
I don't think so.
no.
This
Okay.
seems to be the event.
This was it, yeah, because like I said, Tom, last time, like the clues that they left, because I said it's gonna have to do something with pregnancy or an abortion or something, because the clues that they left.
Well, that's what I was saying. You
them,
figured it out pretty well, and that's why I feel like there had to be some breadcrumbs there, at least in the second season, anyway.
Yeah,
Maybe not the first.
They did, but they didn't say anything about her. Like, she didn't say I wasn't able to have children. She said things like what she said in season 2, which was something like, I'm going to take your ability to love away from you, or like, you know, I'm going to take whatever, like, it is you love away, blah, blah, blah. Like, those kind of things that she would say to him kind of made me think, okay, like he's taken something from her that she would love forever, i.e. her ability to give birth. So like, that's like the only thing that I could think of. Or like, I mean, the other thing I was thinking of was like a favorite pet or something. Like, he killed her dog, but then I was like, that can't be it. Like, you can't, like, you don't.
That's too weak. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
so
too weak.
Like, her reaction is so extreme, but I don't know. I'm torn, because on the one hand, like, I get that I still understand how they didn't tell her, but just ignoring that for the moment.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't tell her,
yeah,
is, I could see her being so angry, especially if she wants kids. Especially if she feels guilty for getting the abortion in the first place.
I mean, the whole setup seems legit as far as her reasoning and all that kind of shit. The only part that doesn't seem legit is the haphazardness of how it was done, right? And I guess, I mean, we can overlook certain things, but I just have this hard time, regardless of how large of, you know, much distance, because we figured that out last week, that the ranch is, you know, the Yellowstone is about the size of Rhode Island. So, like, obviously they're far away, they're a ways away from everything. And even though the Yellowstone does butt up against the reservation, it's still probably X amount of hours away. So they may have no fucking clue who she is over there. I'll give them that. But at the same time, I mean,
no, she knew. They knew, dude.
Well,
she gave her the license, and she was like,
well, yeah, but that doesn't necessarily know. Oh, did she react? I'm trying to remember, because I haven't watched this in
No,
like
she
a few
know
months,
the name. It travels further than the last name travels further than the first name or the association.
Yeah.
But the other part too is that they're really trying to heavily imply that Jamie premeditatively wanted this to happen and be an outcome, and I just don't think that.
I don't get that.
I didn't get the sense of, like, I did get the sense that he wanted her to get the abortion, because I think he felt like
he wanted to do it to protect her, yeah,
right, and also to protect her family name, because he knew it would be embarrassing and all of that.
Yep.
But someone in the chat said that maybe he submitted this information as an implied threat that they had better do this for her. What I don't understand is the extent to which she basically wants him dead for doing this.
Exactly. Like that, like, it's been so many years, and you would imagine that he's probably apologized a million times. You know what I mean?
I don't know if she so much wants him dead as she wants him to suffer. And like I said, just wait till she finds out he has a kid. That's where shit's going to really hit the fan.
Tom. I think she wants both.
Like, she literally wants him dead.
Yeah.
She
wants him tortured to that point, and then she wants to kill him.
Yeah, well, either way, she just wants this dude to suffer and torture and like she literally told him, go kill yourself. Like she was like, yeah, why don't you go fucking kill yourself? Like, and then he's like, but you told me to come back. She's like, why'd you listen to me? Just go kill yourself. Like, what the fuck? It's like she hates him so much. I mean,
well, part of it is that she's her punching bag, right? Like whenever she has a problem, she takes it out on him, right?
Oh yeah.
But the thing is she keeps getting more and more fuel in her. Like I said, once she finds out he has a kid, I think all bets are off, right?
Oh
like,
my God.
That's
who we should be afraid. That's what we should be hiding his kid from.
Yeah. Because Rip still doesn't know, right? Like
oh God.
As far as season 3 goes, Rip doesn't know that Jamie did this, and he certainly doesn't know that she even had an abortion to begin with, like that his baby was killed. So like, when he finds out, like that's gonna,
if he finds out, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he's gonna find out, Script Doctor, because I mean, I don't know because I haven't seen ahead.
Spoiling it. I'm just
don't spoil it. But like, I think he's gonna find out because why else wouldn't they have shown that by now? Because this series is such a drama-filled series that is definitely something that's gonna be revealed. I feel like in the future.
I think he's gonna find out. I think he's gonna have to, and I don't know where they're gonna go from there though, because he is the one who is also inclined to kill him in the most brutal way possible when he finds out. So
I mean, Rip is pretty fucked up.
He's intense.
Rip, I do not. Oh, I mean, I feel kind of bad for Beth too, because in this season, she definitely like her love story with Rip is really cute. Like they're like, you know, she wants to marry him, but he doesn't want to. Like she understands that he can't ask for permission from her father, so she asks it, and then she's like, oh, you know, I want you to marry me, and they have this whole conversation. Like I thought all of that stuff was really cute. And I think they're gonna get married probably now.
It adds to the sense of them being royalty,
right?
Because like I don't think a commoner can ask a royal to marry them.
Oh, that's a good point, Jane. I didn't even think about that. You guys were also right about the kids, like basically like his interest in horses. Kayce's kid, his interest in horses and like all that stuff is like gone.
He's got nightmares for the first half of the season.
Yeah, but that's it. But they just kind of talk about it though. They don't really say anything, and that's why they take him to like outdoor. They're going to the camping. Outdoors. Yeah, they go camping for like for a while, and I actually really love that part of the series and about how like that kind of healed him. And it was saying like there was a part where John is talking to, I think it was the governor chick, or what is she again? She was a politician, the one that he's
she's the governor, and they're trying to get the new attorney general because the current one is resigning or retiring.
Right. And then she comes to him to find him, and she's like every time I come here, like I see why you want to fight for this land, because it's just like, I mean, you look at it and it's just so majestic, and it's like his property, you know. And it's just like, oh yeah, this is all mine. It's freaking wide as the eye could see. It's all mine. And I can see, like, you know, you finally understand why they don't want to let that go. That was a cool scene. And then there was, sorry, go ahead, Jane.
No, I was just gonna say it's absolutely beautiful. And I did love that too when they went camping.
I love that scene. Oh, I love this scene too, where freaking this, I seriously could not understand what the hell was up with that girl, Teeter or whatever.
Tater.
And like she just really grew on me as a character. Like I was like, I don't know what's going on with this girl, but like let's see what happens. And then by the end of it, like she really grew on me. That scene was funny when she's like putting the kid on the horse. I like that scene. Okay, let's talk about also your favorite character, Tom. fucking Jimmy. I'm just joking. You said you hate him. Now I can see.
It's not. Well, I mean, I hated him at first. Start to warm up to him. I mean, you finally start to see a bit of a turnaround in his character. You know, he has some purpose. He's getting into the rodeo thing and all that business in this season. And I'm trying to remember what all
Yes
we see
and no. And this is why I really was like, what the is the point of everything that's happening to this dude, like Jimmy? Because Jimmy is like, he started as a really interesting character, and then I was like, oh, like what's gonna happen to him and like all this stuff, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he finally found his passion, he's gonna join the rodeo, and then the fucking first episode he meets some girl.
Oh yeah.
And then he fucking breaks his entire body doing like the first rodeo, and I was like, you couldn't have given him like 5 minutes on the rodeo before he completely
thinking of those barrel girls. Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
That's so Jimmy though. That's him.
Well, you knew that was going to happen first thing out the gate, right? Like,
it literally was like that. And then, well, what I found so funny too is that then that girl becomes his girlfriend, which was really weird because she just kind of showed up and she's like, "I'm your girlfriend now," and she like she just shows up in the hospital.
Does him while he's in a cast.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, you're a virgin. I'm just gonna have sex with you while you're lying here." And he's like, "But I'm gonna break. Please don't." Please don't. And she's just like, "No, I'm gonna do it. Like you can't be a virgin." And I was like, "Do girls do this?" Like I was like, it felt a little unrealistic again for me.
Is this the Montana thing?
Yeah, I was like, is this like a fucking Midwest thing? Like what is
I'm
this?
keeping my mouth shut.
These fucking rodeo girls.
You almost broke your neck because of something I said. I owe you one night.
I know, it was so bizarre. I was like, what is happening?
Barrel racers.
I'm trying to find that scene. But then the funny part is like they do that, and then fucking what's it called? Jimmy, like, he starts recovering, whatever. She starts hanging out at the ranch with her slutty friend. The slutty friend starts like sleeping with the old dude.
See, I didn't. Oh wait,
comes back.
I didn't get that they were actually having sex.
Oh, they were doing it.
Do you think? I don't think so.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, no, because that guy was like,
I get that he got really, really upset, but I don't think that they had a sexual. I think it was more like it's like a simp relationship.
No,
I don't think that they were actually. You think they were really sleeping together?
Yeah,
she got daddy issues.
Yeah, because she was like in his like bed. The one scene, and then like I think it was John Dutton that came in, or it was either John Dutton or Rip. I don't remember which one. And one of them came in and was like, "Are you serious, dude? Like this girl?" And then he was like, "Can't help it." Like, I was just like, "Oh my god, like this is so bad. Like this dude is like freaking. He could be our dad. He could be our grandpa. Like
that's why I didn't believe it.
But it was happening. It was 100% happening. I was like, oh my god, that's so gross. And then so that girl, but she's a great actress too because she was so slutty. Like I was like, damn.
She is in a sitcom that unfortunately isn't coming back, but it was with the Broken Lizard guys, and it's called Tacoma FD, and it's a sitcom about fire departments and all the antics that they go through trying to rescue people from fires.
That's too bad.
It was a very funny show, but sadly, it's not coming back.
That sucks. So there's the slutty girl. She was great. And I like the fact that the other guy came back.
Walker, well, they find him singing in a bar in the state that he shouldn't be in.
Right.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Why'd you come back?" And he's like, "Dude, I have to fucking report in, like for the what's it called? Officer. Yeah, for parole." So that
she's showing up to be his granddaughter.
Us old folks need love too. Yeah, it was kind of gross though.
Y'all ruined it for me because I thought it was just like he just was infatuated with her. But I don't
know.
That's creepier.
They're definitely banging.
I don't know.
I'm trying to find the scene so I can like pause it on that. But they were definitely doing it. At first it started like that, but then and they definitely did it. Okay, let's talk about the other big reveal. The other big reveal was that Jamie Dutton is not a Dutton. He finds out through happenstance because now he's going to be basically.
He's running for governor, and they need his birth certificate to authenticate his claim to run or something of that nature.
Which was, again, really fucking annoying because his entire story has been, oh, daddy wants you to do this. No, daddy doesn't want you to do this. No, actually, daddy does want you to do this. Actually, no, daddy doesn't want you to do this. Oh, yeah, actually, you know what? Do it.
He became the wildlife commissioner for a day or something, and then talked to that one guy at the police department, made a threat, and then now he's moved over to the governor. He's going to become the attorney general. And then he finds out that this guy here, this actor who played the villain in the Swamp Thing short-lived series, is his dad.
That's Will Patton.
Yeah.
Will Patton is his dad. And then, he finds out that he's adopted because he gets because they need his birth certificate. So he goes to get the birth certificate, and the birth certificate.
Yeah, they do jerk his character around quite a bit as to where, like, what is he doing exactly? I mean, I understand. I mean, after you find out, oh, he's adopted, that gives you a little bit more insight as to why John's so much colder with him than he is the other kids. And you kind of have like that going on in your mind now, like, okay, so.
But that, you think to yourself, I mean, and when that was revealed, that's kind of like, bless you. That's why I kind of thought, oh, that's why he told him to go become a lawyer. And that's why he wanted Kayce to run the ranch. Well, after the older brother died, because the original plan was to have the older brother run the ranch. But then Kayce, when he died, Kayce was left to run the ranch. And you're like thinking to yourself, well, why? Like, why is it that this kid has always been told, like, nah, you're going to go to law school.
Not only that, technically skipped over because he would be the middle child.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You just get skipped over. Like, you don't need to ride horses. You don't need to be a wrangler. You need to go to school. Like, it's just like, why? And then now you realize because you don't want this kid to run the land because he's not a Dutton. So that kind of makes sense. But then you're kind of also like, wouldn't you want to keep the adopted kid in your good graces? Because especially since he knows the laws so well, like, so like, it just, why make an enemy of him? Like, it's a really weird thing for John Dutton to do. I don't even know why they
adopted him in the first place.
Me either.
Well, they said, they haven't shown us in the season, they said the reason, he said the reason that we adopted you was because your mom wanted us to adopt you because she was friends with, I'm guessing, like, Jamie's mom. I was going to call him Jeremy. I don't know where that name came from. Jamie's mom or something like that. They didn't show us.
No.
They're just telling us through John Dutton that the only reason you got adopted is because of your mom, and your mom was the one that took care of you, and your mom was the one that paid attention to you.
My issue, I don't like this storyline at all. I don't like that they made him adopted. It would have made more sense if he was John's bastard.
I like that
and
better
he,
too.
quote unquote, adopted him, but it was because it was his child.
I would have liked that better too, Jane. Because it would have made more sense. Yeah. And it would have made more sense why Beth hates him so much. Because, like, you're not even a fucking Dutton. Like, get the fuck out of here. But it's like, they don't even know.
Or she could hate him because, like, if she had known, it would be because, your mom took my dad away for a period of time or something like that. I don't know. But it doesn't, making him adopted just is too much.
Well, if you want to circle it back into why Beth also didn't like her mom too much, what if her a better angle would be if her mom cheated on John Dutton?
Ooh, see,
kid. And that's why Beth hates him more, because it's like, not only did my mom, who I didn't like because she made me, go after you guys when she fell off the horse and kind of blame me for it, but not only that, like, she cheated on the man that I loved, my father.
Yeah,
I like that.
Because she's such a daddy's girl too. So you can kind of like really go at that angle and then like villainize the mom for her more. And and then Jamie doesn't know. But then you would like, if Beth knew, again, it would add to like why she hates him so much. And then
Yeah.
You could have done a whole, like, they could have done a whole different thing with even how he would find out. Like, she would tell him, like, you're fucking adopted. Because that's why you want to hurt. Like, that's the kind of thing you would say if you want to hurt someone, like, deeply, right?
Yeah.
Instead, the way he found out was kind of lackluster. It's like, oh, everyone in your entire life's been lying to you, like, because, here's your birth certificate. It's like, what? Like,
For no particular reason. Because if you're doing it as a favor to a friend, then why wouldn't you just tell him? Like, it's just so stupid.
I know. I know.
Your mom was a lovely person. She died for whatever reason, and we took you in because she was a great woman. Whatever. It doesn't. None of this.
Well, in this, they're saying that the reason that they wanted to protect him is because this dude killed his mom in a really vicious way. I forget why. He said why. I forget
it's
why.
Not
though.
discovered in this season.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure? Because the recap I watched did bring it up, but I don't know if it was.
I think they might have been incorporating something from next season.
They could have. That's why I didn't want to say necessarily what it was.
I just remember this dude telling him, "I killed your mom."
Yep.
He said why. Here, hold on. Let me stop this because he did say why.
Which makes even less sense.
There's more information that he says later on.
Oh. Well, I haven't gone there yet then. Because he basically says, I killed your mom, and then, that's why he talks about, like, he's like, have you killed yet, son? And then, like, Jamie's all like, he's like looking away, like, no.
Yeah, you killed, yeah.
Like, why do you even I don't even understand why this conversation is happening.
Because this is what I'm talking about, Jane. Because John is making an enemy out of fucking Jamie. So Jamie's like, well, if I'm not loved here, if nobody likes me here, they don't even want me around, and I'm adopted, I might as well go find my real fucking parents. And then he finds out his real parents are a piece of shit. And what are you supposed to do at that point?
Just turn around, go back out the door.
I mean, I would go back. Once I saw like my dad like working at like this fucking whatever, and then he's a piece of shit. They killed my mom brutally. I feel, and then because the guy said to him too, he's like, "No, son, like which family you want?" And I'm like, "You're fucking Dutton. You live on the Dutton Ranch. Like you're rich. Like why would you? Why would you want to?
It's difficult. Like you were raised by the Windsors, but your family's like some rando. Why?
Yeah, and the guy's like, yeah, like let me just live this rando life for a minute. It's like, what? Why?
Not to mention you have your own family now. So.
Oh yeah, that hasn't even. Good point, Jane. That hasn't even been brought up anymore. Like. That wasn't even a thing in the third season. We haven't seen shit. That girl's gone.
It'll come back. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, but this is Tom. But this is the reason season 3 was lackluster for me, because I'm like, okay, so like what we get this, but we don't get.
I don't know. I like part of it because we finally get past a lot of shit. We finally get over a lot of things. Oh, how are we doing, Camelot? How you doing?
What's up, Camelot?
Yeah.
And, we've mentioned some of the positives about Kayce's wife.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get the revelations, as weird as some of it is. And I didn't necessarily hate the adopted thing. What I saw that is, though, is Taylor, and this is why I kept saying script, like, he's definitely got a hard on for Godfather. I know what you're saying. This is more War of the Roses kind of a thing, but like,
yeah,
that to me is like spot on. It's like, okay, so you made the lawyer's son the adopted son.
Mm-hmm. He's Fredo.
No, he's Robert Duvall's character.
I know, but he's kind of like Fredo because they want him
he
to
is kind of
die.
like Fredo at the same time, though. That's the weird thing too. Like there is a lot of
Fredo's
that dynamic.
Yeah, but he's not adopted, but they want him to be like Fredo because they wanted to like kill him off, and they're like they keep saying he's like the bastard. Well, like he's like the
middle
fucking
child, and
he's like an annoying.
It's because they're missing one of the kids. That's why. So they've kind of mixed the attributes of Robert Duvall and Fredo into Jamie's character. But yeah.
Oh, so he says to this dude, I need to know you, or I'll never know myself. And I'm like, why?
That's not how that works.
Like, you just met him. Like he looks like a piece of shit. His life is a piece of shit. He killed your mom.
Yeah,
like, really,
a lot of that makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, I'm just like, why are you interested in this guy after all these years? I mean, he's had He's only, I mean, we don't know how long he's been out of prison, but like
only a couple of years because he's
that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, he's clearly had time to seek you out if he wanted to, and all that.
This almost feels like he made this character, and then he, like, Taylor Sheridan made this character, and then he was like, I could really do something with this guy that gets out of jail for like after a certain amount of time. You know, that sounds like a really good plot for a really good story. Tulsa King. There you go. Just,
kind of, but like it's the same. Like, I don't see any connection between the two characters.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, the premise of this dude getting out of prison and then what's happened to his life and blah blah blah. I think he like drew inspiration from his own story. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he said to him, but I can't see it right now. But he just basically really wants to get to know this dude, which is like, why? I don't fucking know.
What more do you need to know?
Thank you, Jane. What more do you need to know about this loser that killed your mom? I don't know. Okay, then they did that crazy killing, native style. They dragged that guy's body and then they hung him. That was crazy. Then, okay, so Kayce. Let's talk about Kayce a little bit. Because he's been getting played around a little bit too this season. But what happens with him is he's now been placed as the leader of the Livestock Commission. Thank you. So he's a new leader and he's doing a damn good job. He's doing a really good job. It's kind of like the story of, like, you know how they say people don't want power who don't want power are the best leaders or whatever, because he really didn't want to do this.
The best leaders have the leadership thrust upon them as opposed to those that seek it out.
Well, and he's been being set up for it from the first 2 seasons that this is obviously what he's made to do, right? And then you know, I mean, there's things that come up to where they like kind of hint at, oh, maybe you should be the governor and all these other things, kind of like what they were doing with Jamie. But like, you know, that only goes so far with this. But like, that's what I said. You got to get his wife off his back. That was one of the things I liked about this season. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ, give the guy some fucking slack already. I mean, he's done. What more can this guy do?
Yeah.
To where you don't feel like you're probably in the best place you should be and you're most safest, you know, at the house. Otherwise, you get the fuck out of Dodge and you don't look back. That's your only choice. Because otherwise, this bitch, all she does is she ends up going back to the res. And every time she does, something horrible fucking happens. Right?
Well, at least this time they made her the hero and she like freaking like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They kind of got her out of this rut. I mean, yes, they put Jamie into a little bit more of a rut. But again, it's really just the convolutedness of the whole, like, how did they, you know, the abortion bit. Like, because that's really where I kind of scratched my head. But at that point, you kind of got to throw your hands up in the air and say, well, that's kind of the only way it works, right? Because we all just went through the whole circle of it and going like, there's no other way out of it. But that, again, is where script will tell you you're probably just kind of, it's because Taylor wrote himself into a corner with that pretty much.
Yes.
I do like that he's coming into his own as sort of the natural heir, but I don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen ahead of this, but okay, that's not completely true. I've seen season 4, episode 1, but I'm not going to talk about it because we're going to talk about that next week. But the ending of this season really fucking pissed me off. So I was like, obviously, I'm not going to wait a fucking year. I'm going to go see what happens. But I agree with you, Jane. I like what happened with him in this season because they're finally like kind of like, okay, he is coming into himself. I like how he got roped into, and I say roped into is not pun intended, but he got roped into doing this by the governor because she was like, okay, you're not going to, like, he's not going to deny me. Like she told that to John Dutton because John Dutton was trying to convince him to do it. And he was like, I'm not doing that. And, you know, she was like, I'll talk to him and he's not going to deny me. And he didn't. And it was interesting how it happened. And then the steps he ended up taking for these people to really like him. And I really liked that episode where like all the different ranchers were there and they were all shaking his hand and being like, oh, thank you, sir, for like helping us and blah, blah, blah. And like, I think even Jamie was there and was like, Jamie was like, they never did that for Dad. Because even though they had his respect because they kind of feared his name, they didn't have his respect because they liked him. Like it was, he was doing things actually differently in his own
He
way.
went out and did something because the guys complained. It's like, this has happened. It's like, well, let's go fix it right now.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. It's like, and then so these guys, which are kind of like the
other ranchers,
the heads of the other ranchers, they come to him and they're like, we want you to run for governor. I think it was governor something, leader of the freaking, I'm pretty sure it was governor. And then they're like,
because the governor's running for senator, right?
Yes. And so they need to replace her with somebody, and they want him because he's actually doing things. And they're like, we're still the guys that are picking this shit. Like, it was like so funny because like he was like, why don't you get somebody else and like vote them in or whatever? And he's like, they're like, until things change, we're still picking the fucking winners like over here. And I thought that was funny because the white dudes are still doing their thing. It is, that makes sense. What happened to her was funny. She got so mad. She got big mad, this girl. Wait, there she is. She's just big mad right now. She's like, motherfucker, you got me fired. Because she did. She got fired from her CEO job.
Oh, well.
Oh my God. Okay, let's talk about this scene because this was hardcore. Holy shit. I was like, I don't know if I could ever do this. As much as I understand why he's doing it, I don't think I could ever understand or do that ever. Hold on. I'm trying to get the right scene for this. I know. Pause. God damn it. Okay, hold on. It's happening. Just wait a second. It's okay. Come on, Rip. About Rip. Spoiler alert. Holy shit.
I know exactly what it is you're talking about.
Oh my God. Why won't you pause on the right scene?
You can use the mouse scroll wheel to move like a couple of frames at a time. And
wait, how do you do that again? Do you hold Alt and do that?
No, you put your cursor over the time code and then you just move your scroll wheel forward and back.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's a neat trick.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too, but it still doesn't get it. Okay, you know what? We'll just pause it here. Fuck it. All right. It's as close as I can get it for now. What the fuck, y'all? Like, he went and dug his mom back up to get the ring. And like opened the casket and took her ring. I mean, it was really respectful and kind of really nice, but I was like, God damn, just go buy another ring,
it's
dude.
Romantic in a very macabre kind of way.
He spent all of his money on the tombstones and the burials for his family, except for his dad. So he's this is what he's got to do.
Oh, that's true. I forgot that he spent all his money on the tombstones. You're right.
And ordinarily, this is what he would do. It's just, I guess he never thought he'd get married.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
the ring.
But it was so funny because he was like, "Hi, mom," like, and then he was just like, "Well, I'm gonna go get the ring from my mama," like, it's just like he's just talking to her, and then he like, it was very respectful. I really liked that scene. It was really sweet, but it was really kind of fucked up because I was like, like.
I mean, that's love.
It was love. Like I mean, I still haven't seen the scene where because I don't think I've seen it. No, where he gives her the ring, and I'm imagining her being like, "Wait, did you dig this shit up? Like, what?
Where'd you get this?"
Yeah, like I'm not
tell you a story about my trip to the graveyard.
I'm like, I really hope your mom gave you that before she died. No,
he may not want to tell. Just don't say anything.
Oh my God.
The comedic part of me really wanted a young Frankenstein joke where as soon as he takes the ring off her finger, her hand reaches out to grab it and puts it back on her.
Oh my God. It's so morbid. Like, I was like, oh my God. That's so weird. I don't, a good mom would want you to dig her out her casket and take her ring to give to a daughter-in-law. That's true. That's true.
I think she would be happy to see him happy. Yeah.
I think so too. Like, don't get me wrong. I think so too. It was just kind of morbid. Like, I was like, holy shit, this is hardcore, man. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before. But it was very sweet.
Get it cleaned.
Oh yeah, and then he shot another horse again. I was like, this motherfucker gonna shoot another horse. Like, and he did. And then he was like, God, I hate shooting horses. And I was like, I hate watching you shoot horses, dude. Like, why? Oh yeah, and then everybody got shot. So yeah, so that's what happened. So John Dutton, by the way, pulled over. The second he pulled over too to like help the people, I was like, this is a setup. Like, this is set up for something. I thought that the woman was gonna actually be working with the killers, and then like they're gonna like pop out of nowhere and like kill them, you know? But like it didn't happen like that. It actually happened kind of like by happenstance because he wasn't there at the house or whatever. So these people were driving by, and then they see like this dude helping this woman at the side of the road, and they're like, "Hey, are you John Dutton?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Say hello to my little friend." And like they just fucking open the freaking machine gun into him. And like he kind of lies there and is very badly
killed a
injured.
woman, and I can't remember if the kid got away.
The kid got away because he went to they didn't show him get killed. They got the woman. The woman died. But then the kid went to get I think they're called lug nuts. Are they called lug nuts? the things from the tire.
Yeah.
Yes, he said he like went to drop them by while because he went to pee, and John was like, that was your only job, like not to lose them. And then he's like, I put him down where I peed, and he's like, okay, well, go get him. And he like goes to get him, and then these guys open fire. But the kid was like down beneath the
right,
like the hill.
He was in the
like,
ditch, essentially.
He was in the ditch, yeah. So they didn't even see the kid. And so like I think the kid's still alive, but like the show didn't show the body of the kid or anything like that. But they did show the mom get killed. I thought that the mom was gonna be in on it. Like I thought it was gonna. I was like, oh no, like
those dark assassins. Like she's training this kid that's also gonna be an assassin one day.
Yeah, because she was all like, I can't believe you stopped by to help me. And he's like, well, like, that's what we're supposed to do as good humans or whatever. Like that's what good people do. Like, that's what we do here in Montana. Like, where are you from? And she's like, I'm from California. And I was like, oh no, she's part of the Cribs or some shit. Like they hired these Californian freaking gang people to come and kill this guy. But that's not what happened. It was just some randos. Well, the show kind of portrays them as randos, but clearly they're not randos. So they're people that are working with other people. I'm assuming that pretending that I haven't seen the season 4 episode 1 because I know what happens. But I thought that it was either this girl hired them because she went off about how we need to make war, how you need to take John Dutton down. Like she was like going into this whole monologue about how like, you know, Rainwater, I think that's his name is Rainwater.
Yeah, Rainwater.
That Rainwater was kind of like a pussy and was like basically like, you know, you're right now you're in a great position to take John Dutton out because you think because John thinks you're a friend right now and you shouldn't be. You should be his enemy and you should freaking pounce while you have the chance. And I think Rainwater was kind of like, nah, like, you know, I think he likes having John on his side to some extent. Like, I think he likes being frenemies with him. Like, he's not quite.
I'm just waiting for Rainwater to realize that Tate's going to take over the ranch one day.
Right. Wow.
And also we got one. I think no, I don't know if that scene was that, so I'm not gonna say anything. But this chick right here, she was all hardcore, and she's like, "You need to kill this dude. You need to make war." And then she was like talking about the driver. She's like, "You have a warrior clan dude with you, and he's not doing shit. Why don't you go and do some shit and like you know be a warrior and like all this stuff?" And like the next scene, John Dutton gets shot. So I was like, "Are they trying to say that she's did it? Like she doing it? I don't know." But then obviously, like, the other people that could have done it obviously could have been the fly fisher dude and like the airport people, basically. Like, you know, those are the bads from this season. What is the company called again? I think it was called Market Equities. Market Equities people.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and what's his name? And basically these people, Rainwater and that woman, which by the way is a great actress and she's hardcore. Really liked her. I thought she was kind of weird. Are we gonna see more of her in season 4?
I think so.
I don't remember.
The native chick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right.
Yeah, I
That's
think
good. Because I liked her.
But the conflict seems so contrived because, as Script brought up, the child's going to inherit everything.
I know. I mean, we talked about this, Jane.
Honestly don't like that native chick. I think she's a horrible actress.
Oh, you do? I thought she was good.
It almost feels like her voice is being like overdubbed. Like there's something about her that's unnatural. I don't know what it is.
It's the eyebrows.
Yeah, her acting is just atrocious.
Wow.
She does every line just like this. Like she's a robot.
I didn't get that, but maybe next season. If
maybe it's just me.
She wasn't that much like in the season, so I didn't like. It was very.
That
brief.
could be maybe you get because you haven't seen so much of her yet.
I haven't seen her more. I can tell you this entire scene, I was like, I still don't understand what the fuck is going on with Jimmy and this chick. Like, I was like, okay, so she shows up. He is, and then she's all, Jimmy, are you gonna get back on that horse and go and do the rodeo? And he's all like, no. He's like,
well, he promised John Dutton not to, because again, John paid for his medical rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.
And if she came up to me and says, you're gonna get back on that horse, I'd be like, well, honey, I don't want to call you a horse. I think your name is more appropriate.
Ew, damn. But she's all like, oh, you mean that John Dutton that, like, you know, marked you? Don't be a cattle for him, and like all this stuff. And I was just like, what? Like, dude, she's paying for he's paying for his medical bills and his life. Like, he's paying for everything. He is like, he lives there, he eats there, he works there. And then so she's like, well, if you want to like be committed to something, be committed to me. Don't be committed to that white man, and don't be his cattle. I was just like, all right, whatever, feminism shit. So then he's like, okay, like, I'll get back on that horse. Like, I'll do it. I'll listen to you. And then guess what happens? He fucking falls down. I don't know, breaks something.
Passes out.
Yeah, he passes out. I don't know. Which was really weird because the timing of what happened to him was weird because, like, he falls down off the horse. Then the ranch gets attacked. And then you're like, wait, so did they just leave Jimmy there because he was just...
I didn't know he was there. He got lucky.
Yeah, because he got lucky. Like, he's just like lying on the floor, like dead. And then she fucking comes back and she's all like, Jimmy, no. And I was like, yeah, that's precisely why he didn't want that to happen.
Very cheesy. Yeah.
It was so bad. I was like, what is this show right now?
Not this is not the best season of this show. That is for sure.
It was so like,
for some reason I remember enjoying the ending though. So I don't know. Maybe the beginning was, I don't know. You guys are making me see it in different ways than I remember watching it, but like,
no, the ending cliffhanger is actually pretty cool.
Well, just like this season is where I remember us getting like the most information. The shit moves forward. I like that we move past some of the old villains, get some new villains, you know, new positions on certain things. Jamie, you know, you find all this stuff about Jamie. That should have been the
thumbnail with some Z's above his head.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get more creative with these thumbnails. Yeah, no, you're right though, Tom, because the season was very much like that. And that's why I'm saying it's not that I hated it, because I can't say I hated it because a lot of stuff progressed, but it was like, okay, like, can you progress faster so that we can get to the exciting stuff? And then the exciting stuff happened like at the end of the fucking, 10th episode. And I was like, yes, next one. I want to see. And then, if I had been watching this on TV, I would have to wait a fucking year to figure out if John Dutton's still alive.
With the first 4 episodes of this show, you could probably fairly argue, you could yell at the Taylor Sheridan, make up your damn mind. Where are you going? You keep moving, you're shuffling your characters around. Pick a lane.
Yeah. That's what it was. The first 4 episode, I was like, what is happening? Oh, and then this bitch, how dumb are you? Oh my God. Like the one that opened the box, I was like,
oh, the secretary.
Yeah, because Beth was all, I'm not expecting a package. I'm not expecting a package. I don't know what's in there. Don't open it. And then she fucking opens it and it freaking explodes.
That's
you're like,
yeah, I hate that.
Well, I mean, that's one way to fire your assistant.
Oh my God.
Ouch, script doctor.
Sorry, I wasn't so up on speed on that one there.
Oh my God.
Looks like Kristen Wiig, eh?
Oh my God. Does it?
Not anymore, she don't.
No. Crispy. Magnum Norse, thank you for the 5, says he prefers his sheep named Princess. Ooh, Princess. Wait, who? Are you talking about Jimmy?
Yes.
Who prefers this sheep?
There's no sheep allowed on the Dutton Ranch.
Yeah, they don't like
it's only
sheep.
cows. Oh,
you really get to know that when you see 1923. But yeah, this episode really solidified you do not want to be Beth's either assistant or secretary. It does not work out for you.
No, not at all.
Not if you're in Montana at the time. Go back to New York, be your secretary over there. You're fine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so then John Dutton gets shot, and then and Kayce got attacked too, because you see like he was like at the office, he was with those guys. They were like they were trying to convince him to run, and he was on the phone with his wife, and then all of a sudden like somebody comes in barging in, like shooting up the place, but you don't really see what happens to Kayce. You're just kind of like, oh no, Kayce is maybe gonna die, but it's hard for me to say like he's gonna die though. At the time, even before I had seen the next episode, I was kind of like, obviously he's not dead, because Kayce is a pretty important character, but also like he has military training, and the second that he heard the gunshot, like he kind of like flipped the desk up. So like I was like, okay,
he really likes and is good at killing. He's not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, like I couldn't see him go down without a fight either. I was like, I don't see that happening. I don't see him being dead. Oh, and then nothing happened to Jamie though. So that was the only thing that was kind of like left. Like, wait, what? Like, so all the Duttons get hit except Jamie? Like, that was it. So that was like another kind of suspect, like at the suspect of the list of who could have done it.
Yeah.
And it was Jamie was also one of them, because he's now adopted. You figure out, he doesn't really like his family. He doesn't like Beth, certainly. I could see why he would send a bomb to her office.
Yeah.
Fuck that bitch. If I'm thinking, I'm Jamie and I've been suffering all my life at this bitch's hands, and then it's like, oh, whatever. But this is kind of like the last thing you see of Jamie in the season.
That's kind of an easy red herring, though, in a way.
Yeah, it was too easy of a red herring, because it's like,
and not only that, Jamie really, really, really wants to get back in his father's good graces at some point, probably.
Yeah, so. Like he's just too brainwashed. Like he wants to be a Dutton. Like he loves the Duttons. He loves John. He just doesn't know what to do. Like he's like, I don't know what to do for you to love me. I just can't do anything, apparently.
Well,
but now
because he already gave up his agency as a boy to John Dutton. He's not a person. He's a puppet.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, and now like he's got his new dad. And I didn't think his new dad was gonna do anything.
New daddy, yeah.
His new daddy. This scene was pretty cool though. I like this scene. When they're all kind of talking in the office before the shit hit the fan. And then John Dutton is basically like kind of like tells everybody they can fuck right off. And then he kind of like turns around to Jamie and he's like, so you don't even say hi anymore? You don't say bye, nothing? Like, you know, that's where we're at. And Jamie's just kind of like left silent. This was the scene when he tells everyone to go fuck themselves. Because they were like, come on, let us like buy your land. Like, you know, and I guess look, we should discuss that a little bit. So what do you guys think? Because if you were John Dutton, right? They're coming up to you. They're like, we're going to give you $500 million. You sell us your land and you let us fucking build an airport on there. You know, right. Yeah. And then you realize, you know, and you're him and you're kind of like, okay, well, generational wealth is something that was brought up because things are changing now. So like if you're become a wealthy family and then you have money, that becomes your legacy. Like you know, you can build a new legacy basically. And it's not like you can't keep some of the land because it's not like the airport's going to go on the entire thing. You can keep like your portion of the land, like where your ranch is and blah, blah, blah. And then kind of like, you know, live off that and then, you know, have money, a lot of money. So wouldn't you at this point take it? Like, I mean, I understand that John's trying to like keep his word to his father and like all this stuff, but it also kind of seems like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
I mean, there's wealth, and then there's the kind of wealth that actually lasts. I mean, you can have all of the money, but to own this significant a piece of property for at least as long as you can, if not forever, like that's so much more valuable to me. If I were him, there's just not a dollar you could put on it.
What if they like made the airport like the John Dutton Airport, and then you know or the Dutton Airport?
No, that wouldn't work because that airport replaces a whole bunch of grass that the cattle needs to graze. And the other part too, and this is what is Beth is trying to appease to John about, is that the land, the way that the economy is going, it's going to appreciate so much value that he'll never be able to pay for it through taxes.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be absorbed somehow by some other entity eventually. And John says, you know what, that's fine, but I promised my father that while I live, I'm never gonna let this ranch go. So that's all he has to do. Like if he dies, then yeah, you can sell the ranch, do whatever they want because it's not his problem anymore. But he would really, like John even says it frequently, he would really like to hand it over to Kayce and Tate one day to run because that's the legacy of the ranch. But it also goes back to what I was talking about last episode, is that John Dutton, for all intents and purposes, even with a ranch the size of Idaho and the amount of cattle he has, he should be not worried about money at all. He's a bad businessman. He's a great rancher, but he's a bad businessman.
Well, that's why his ranch is not making money. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Jen.
No, I was going to say, I think that's because of how he views the land. Like there are things he could do to be more profitable, but it's like he wants to maintain how they've been doing things for 100 years. And that's,
but you can't really do that through progress. I mean, progress is going to happen no matter what you do. I mean, I'm sure he faced that to some extent growing up there with his father, right? Like, I mean, you would think so. I mean, I haven't watched the prequels yet, but
this goes back to what we were saying before too, about why doesn't he realize his grandchild and the tribe, the land could ultimately go to them? Like I would almost, if I were going to give it to anybody, it would be to the tribe through the child or through annexation or something like I would just give it back to the tribe. Like it just doesn't, how they're handling it just seems very forced and unrealistic.
So you would keep the land though, Jane? Like if you were in his
land, I would never sell it to anybody else, but I would recognize that my Native American grandchild is going to be the heir. He's going to inherit it. In fact, I would shape it so that he inherits all of it and give them my blessing to, if they want to, give it to the tribe and that way maintain it, at least in his grandson's descendants' lives for the rest of eternity.
But like, well, first of all, I mean, it's $500 million. I mean, I think that's a lot of money. Really, you really could say no to something like that.
Well, I mean, is the state of Rhode Island worth $500 million or is it worth more?
Probably more. I mean, I think that $500 million wasn't enough. I think they should have come back at least with an even billion, like, goddamn, like 500 million. That seems kind of cheap for that amount of land.
And someone said that the tribe would build an airport and a casino. And that's true. I mean, if they choose not to be ranchers on the land, I think they are the only ones who I would accept making that decision not to do that. But I wouldn't sell it to just, some random business people who are going to just throw it away essentially for some cheap nonsense. I would rather give it back. If the tribe wants to do that, fine.
Okay. What about you, Tom? You gonna keep the land? You gonna take the 500?
I think part of it is that Rainwater has no idea who John plans on giving the land to. I'm sure at some point John will come to that conclusion and realize that, and that might be like the last saving grace for the land, is that he talks to Rainwater and he's like, this is the deal. When I die, the kid gets the land, and it's some kind of deal that they have to come up with at some point where they end up working together. Because that falls into that whole, there's a prophecy that's brought up in 1883, which we talked about already. So like,
well, I mean, but that's the other thing I guess you could do is bring back arranged marriages. So you can say, I'm gonna give you back the land, but my son or like my grandson or whatever is gonna end up like marrying a native girl, and then they're gonna have babies.
Whether he likes her or not.
Yeah. And that's it. An arranged marriage would pretty much solve their problem. They just have to pimp that kid out. That's fine. Right?
Dowry's the ranch.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to keep it in the olden ways, that's how olden days, that's how things were done. But okay, well, that's it. That was season 3. Is there anybody else that wants to say anything about the season?
I mean, it ended on a bang. I mean,
it did. It ended up like what I wanted the whole season to be like. I was like, oh my God, things are happening. Oh, it's over. Okay. All right. Well, I can't wait to watch season 4 because I already watched the first episode and I was like, holy fucking shit. Like I couldn't like my eyes were like this. No spoilers. Don't worry. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say shit, but my eyes were like this the whole time in like episode 1 of season 4. And I was kind of wanting that for season 3, but I didn't get that. But I can't wait to watch the rest of season 4 because I think season 4 is I'm guessing all these setups are heading towards this big thing that's going to happen. So
there's going to be some stuff in season 4 you're going to be like, what?
I can't wait for that because I was already like, what? Like in the first episode, I was like, holy fuck. Like I was trying to keep it down, but I was like literally screaming kind of like internally, but I had to keep it down because my husband was asleep and I was like, just like, I can't wait to talk about that. Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I think we broke it down. So Jane, do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about? Plug your channel and where.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
Yeah, guys, Jane Theory is super toxic, so you want to definitely subscribe. I'm sure you've heard otherwise, like she's not toxic at all, but that's not true. She's not true. She's so toxic and she likes AI and wants to destroy us all. She not just likes, she is AI from the future, travel to the past. That's right. This is true. I am praying that no more horses get shot. I'm like, God damn it, please. Like, leave the freaking horses alone. Okay, here's my predictions. I'll give you my predictions, even though I've seen the episode. I'm just gonna say, the big predictions that I have for the season. I think, obviously, we're gonna find out a little bit more about Jamie and his dad or whatever. I don't know what he's gonna do about this whole adoption thing. But I'm guessing I don't know. I feel like the dad, like the new dad, is gonna be taking advantage. He already seems like he wants to take advantage. So I feel like he's gonna take advantage of Jamie somehow, and then Jamie's gonna be like, you know what, fuck you, and then things are gonna come to a head. I don't know what, I don't know how. That's my prediction for that. Jimmy. Oof, I don't know what's gonna happen with Jimmy. Jimmy just seems like an idiot at this point because he's just kind of like, yeah, girl, like I'll do anything you want me to do. And now he's fucking apparently like almost dead. So I don't know if he's gonna join the rodeo again. Maybe he's just gonna break up with that girl because it's not like they're married or anything. I don't know. That whole thing I don't get. He is whipped. But he can be whipped by the other dude too. Like John Dutton can whip him. So
literally.
Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen with Jimmy. Jimmy just seems like I don't know where they're taking his story at this point. Okay, Beth and Rip. I feel like Beth and Rip, it's too good. It feels like it's too good. This is a really too much of a dramatic show for it to last this good. This season was all kind of like, just too sweet for them. So I feel like something tragic is gonna happen. Maybe Beth is gonna die, but I don't think so because she's a main character. Like, there's no way that she's.
What I'm hoping is that she kills Jamie and he takes the fall.
She kills Jamie and what Buddy takes the fall. The Rip takes the fall. Ooh, I like that.
And her hatred basically costs her the love of her life.
Ooh, that's good, Jane. That's good. I can see that. Okay, what else? I don't think John Dutton's not gonna sell the land. That's the whole fucking story.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would ever under any circumstances.
That's the whole fucking story of the show because if he's gonna sell it to these airport people, we don't even have a show anymore. So that's not gonna. I mean, obviously, I think he's gonna survive not because I've seen this season, but we're at season 5, fucking halfway through or something, and he's clearly alive. So there you go. That's not much of a spoiler. But I don't know how he survives other than that. Let's see. What else? What else has been addressed in this season? Oh, the slutty girl. I think the slutty girl is going to probably stay with that other dude.
Oh, you mean Teeter?
Yeah.
Or Tater, whatever her name is.
The other, like Teeter's friend. No, not Teeter's friend. The Rip.
Oh, the blonde chick, the curvy
blonde chick. Yeah.
The one with the old guy?
Yeah, the one with the old guy that's now switched over to the other
Walker.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if she's going to end up staying with Walker. She seems like too much of a slut. Maybe they'll introduce another Wrangler and then she'll switch to that Wrangler. I don't know. That other
Cowboy
dude.
hopping.
Yeah. Oh, that other dude. What's his name? Teeter and the black dude.
Yeah.
They're they're a couple now. I think they're gonna be together.
That's just the weirdest match.
She wore him down, dude, because he was like so disgusted by her.
Yeah. She's persistent.
Yeah, she wore him down. It was so funny. And then what else? Is that all? Is that all the storylines? That's it.
So.
I think that's enough.
I think that's
a lot of insanity.
Oh, wait, this bitch, I feel like she's gonna come back for revenge somehow. I don't see her laying down, being fired from that CEO, and she just seems like a type of person that'd be like, I'm gonna kill this bitch.
I'm glad she's not bald.
She's gonna. Is it bad that that was the first thing I thought too, Jade? I was like, okay, she's not bald and she's wearing like a fucking skirt. Like at least they didn't make her into a man, so that's good.
This show earned respect just for
I
that.
know it was so funny. And she wasn't like angry black woman. Like she was like, she was pretty cool, calculating. Like I liked her. Like she got mad when she needed to get mad. Not like, oh, I'm just like angry black woman and I'm just gonna play it. Yeah, it wasn't stereotypical, which was good. Okay, that's it. That's the predictions. Tom, tell everyone where they can find you and what you got coming up next.
I should be going live here in about 20-25 minutes on the wrap up for the week. Otherwise we have the morning show, Toxic Femininity, of course, tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah.
And I believe I will be hopping over on 70s Rock Fan tomorrow afternoon to talk Death Wish on the what we're calling the Canon Film Group.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Oh, Death Wish is fun.
Excellent. Okay.
So clearly that'd be Death Wish 2 through 5, but yeah, not the first one, but yeah.
Script Doctor, plug your wares, bud.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Script Doctor PhD. I do have a YouTube channel where every once in a while I'll do some gaming, but I have some great evergreen videos on writing and reviews of film and television. And I also have a Patreon where you can check out written reviews that I'm doing of film and television scripts and TV shows that are airing, as well as a couple of fun musings about writing tips, characters, story, plot, structure, all that. I did a recent post with regards to the character of 7 of 9 from Star Trek versus her real name, Annika Hansen. And that's a free post for everyone. If you want to get a taste of what my Patreon has in store, go check that out. And please feel free to leave a comment.
Yay, do that. All the links are in the description and the mods are dropping them. Thank you guys, Grumpy and Darren. You guys are awesome. Thank you for plugging the wares. And as for me, you can find me here on my channel in Infinity, and I probably will go live a little bit later to play some Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe try and finish that game out. And then of course you can catch me on Toxic Femme tomorrow, and I will be telling everyone where I am doing the live streaming at Nina7 Infinity on Twitter. So check that out. And I think that's it. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Extra thank you to those of you who super chatted. And thank you for keeping us company as we're going through this journey of Yellowstone. Hope you enjoyed the show, and make sure you smash the like and share the video if you're rewatching it on replay. Have a good one, everybody. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, wait. Let's go out on Naked Tom Hiddleston for Teresa. Bye.
I'm so sorry.
I'll survive.
I don't doubt it. You're an excellent specimen. I thought you were empty.
I just moved in.
I'm Charlotte Melville.